What's up, Broke Ass Nation? Happy New Year's and happy holidays, and welcome to the BAMO 2023 year-end review. We're going to hear from some of our members on how the year went for them. All right, guys, so I guess I'll start this off with my 2023 review. Yeah, there it is, 2023. Oh man, I really need to stop taking on big projects during car season, and that's what the 240 was. Unfortunately, I've said it before. I didn't plan on it to be an entire car season build, but that's what it turned into. Because if I'm going to tear it apart, I'm going to do it right. Yeah, you can look at the videos. There's my whole build series on that. It's not completely done yet, but for now it is. But yeah, a lot of neglect back here in this area, unfortunately, due to working on that. I barely got to drive the yellow Camaro this year. Unfortunately, really kills me to not drive it. I also didn't hardly do crap with the dumpster fire. I haven't for a long time. It's hard too because LaRue closed down however many years ago, and since then I can't do anything with it. I drove it to work a few times because I had to, but that was about it. Yeah, I do want to do some stuff to it, but I am not going to turn it into another car season build. And then the 300. Yeah. Okay. So, I did try to get more miles on it. I got it out a couple times this year. Problem is, I am only like halfway there. I'm like 250 or so odd miles out of like my 500 break-in miles that I want to get. The problem is I keep having an issue losing the crank sensor signal. So I don't know what's going on. I've given some data to Ben, and he really hasn't figured anything out from the data. So we just got to get a good time to get together and actually figure it out. I changed the crank sensor, so that's not the issue. It's doing the exact same thing. It's basically I'll drive it for a little while, maybe like 10 minutes or so, and then all of a sudden it'll lose crank signal and shut off. So yeah, that's fun. Then it's a guessing game on when it's going to start because it has to have crank signal to start. So sometimes, usually the first time it'll be like off, it'll go right back on as soon as I try to start it. Then the next time it gets a little longer, next time longer. It just keeps going. So yeah, until you're sitting on the side of the road for 5 minutes on off trying to get it to get some kind of signal while it's cranking. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. But yeah, like I said, once again, that took up so much of my time. Next year, I want to be at the track. I want to be in the car scene. I want to be at the meets. I want to do all the stuff I wanted to do this year until I took on the 240 project. I also want to finish the 300. Yeah. And we, if we can do a little bit of stuff to the Camaro, I'd be happy with that. Well, the dumpster fire, not the yellow one. I've definitely said the yellow one's not getting shit for a while until some of this other stuff gets done. But yeah, really looking forward to just getting out there next year. Hopefully 2024 is our year, for all of us. And yeah, so let's kick it on over to one of the other guys.
Well, so I guess year-end review for me started last December. Some of you know, some of you don't. I got into a car accident, got rear-ended. Ended up totaling out the daily, so I kind of got stuck driving the ST through winter. For everybody that doesn't know, R88Rs are absolutely garbage on snow. I almost died a few times. Drove the car, ended up getting another set of tires for it. Went down to Cincinnati to hang out with some friends and ended up catching a brick on the interstate, which totally crushed the lower support brace, the 6-point brace that's on the car. When it bent the bar, it inevitably ended up causing damage to lower control arms too. Although I was stuck driving the car, I ordered control arms, new brace bar, waited for all the stuff to come in. Finally got it put on the car in August. Year wasn't great for going to events and stuff. I drove around on the bar because I didn't have a choice. The car went in, got in alignment a few days after we got all the parts put on. Drove really good. Had it for 2 weeks, give or take. Luckily, through this whole time, Bo, who's been in and out on 10 Mil Podcast and some of the Broadcast Motorsports stuff, was lending me a car that his girlfriend no longer needs. So anyway, got the car back. Had it for like 2 weeks. Was taking my son to school in it the first thing in the morning, and it developed a really, really, really bad clatter. I could tell it was low end of the motor, so I got him to school as safely as I could with the car, trying not to put any extra strain on it. Finally got it home, started to tear down. I was positive it was something in the pistons. Didn't sound like top end of the motor. We have since torn the car completely apart, which he may have photos and videos for you there too. If not, you can check out the Instagram for me and the car, which should be listed in the comments down below. You can kind of follow along through that too if you want. We found out it's definitely wrist pin issues before we even got the block all the way apart. We had wrist pin failure really bad in cylinder 2. Cylinders 1 and 3 were starting to go, and cylinder 4 was okay. Finished tearing the motor out of the car, put it on a stand, flipped it over, and not only did we have wrist pin failure, we also had main bearing failure. So ordered pistons, ordered a new coolant reservoir, ordered a bunch of whole new parts. Plus side is it was time for a timing belt anyway, so I'm going to do that. It's also time for a clutch, unfortunately. The Stage 5 clutch we have is not good for street use. It was a race grade clutch that was supposed to be for racing anyway. And turns out they were right. I got about 30,000 miles on the clutch and it's about smoked. Carbon pads are all the way down to the rivets. There's no damage to it. It did fine. It's just the pads themselves are worn out from street driving because it's not what it's for. So new clutch needs to go in. A couple other new parts. We're doing an AC delete because it's too expensive to put Freon back in the system. A few other little goodies you'll see as we finish the build on it. Yeah, it has not been great. We've had some medical issues pop up in the fall that I was not prepared for. We're getting back to being healthy on the right medications for now. We're getting back to being able to put parts back on the car. With any luck, I'll be starting a new job, which I'm super excited about. I keep telling everybody. Which, if I can, then that's more money that can be invested into the car itself. 2021 was bad. 2022 was not so great because we had the transmission issue. 2023 has been worse. It seems like every year we do this, it's worse. I'm hoping we can turn this all around. I have intentions of doing autocross this year with some people, which if you want to get to know those people, I'll be doing podcasts again. April was our last edited, delivered podcast to you guys. But unfortunately, my housing situation and my living situation, my health and the car, it's just been too much for me. And We're going to try a new format, something that should be a little bit better for you guys to listen to. Hopefully sounds better, because some of those episodes that we do have, I probably have 25 episodes that I could post, but they sound bad. I mean, they're just awful. And I don't want to listen to them, so I know you guys don't want to listen to them. The content's good, the sound's bad. We're going to go through and re-record some of those. We're going to start bringing other people on the podcast that actually have a stake in things, I guess. Other than that, the year end hasn't been great automotively. We're having a problem finding parts. Some parts are discontinued, some parts aren't available. Some parts Ford doesn't even know what they are. I plan on being back with the car. We're going to continue to use the Hyundai and buy it off of Bo and his girlfriend. And then we're going to turn around and put the ST back out to pasture where it belongs as a more or less race car intended car and stop driving the damn thing. It does give me a chance, like I said, to put new stuff in it. And we're going with a race grade piston and connecting arm. We're going to try to do a better crankshaft. We're going to try to do, I ordered ARP head studs. So basically the engine will be bulletproofed. It's getting fresh gaskets, everything, timing, like I said. It will be ready when it gets put back together this time for big turbo, big boost, big injectors. That way I don't have to touch it again. And if it comes apart this next time, we're doing a motor swap. We're going to put something good in it. That's all for me.
What is up, guys? Happy New Year, and what a year it has been. I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas, got to hopefully enjoy some time off of work and spend it with the family. And yeah, it's hard to believe no year has come and gone already, but here we are. It's been a very busy year for me here in the shop building Black Mean. You guys have seen some of the videos of me putting the motor together and we do that roll cage, but let's cut to it. The car's done. Well, mostly done. I did a very bad job at recording content for YouTube. I really apologize about that. But this thing is a ripper. I've been driving this thing around and the thing is a blast. I got it done just in time for winter, it goes figures, but this springtime, and there's gonna be a lot of content coming because we're definitely taking this thing to the track. Yeah, guys, here we are. There's that beautiful blue motor stuffed down way in there. Now, I am gonna be changing this stuff up so we get different intake. The supercharger's going back to Vortec because I'm gonna have them put a bigger impeller in there to upgrade this thing to a TI trim. And we're gonna reroute the piping, come up here for a intercooler. So this thing is not officially done just yet, but I mean, this thing is running and driving great. Also, you guys didn't see any videos, but I built the transmission for this thing. I'll see if Andrew can put a screenshot in. I did oh yeah, also steering wheel's upside down, so it's a little bit sketch. But there we are. We did it's a 4L80 that I built myself. It's got a built-in put shaft. It's got a trans brake, and this thing's actually pretty freaking solid. But yeah, not done just yet. But let me fire this thing up for you guys here. I am super happy with this thing. It's running great so far. I'm very thrilled about that. But we are far from done with this thing. We still need to put this thing on E85. And like I said, we're going to send that supercharger back. They're going to upgrade us to a TI trim. I didn't know that was an option. I was talking to the guys out there at PRI this year. And like, yeah, dude, just go ahead and ship us that thing back and we'll upgrade it to a TI trim, which will be an additional 250 horse. So this thing will be about 1,000 horsepower to the crank, will be about mid 700 to the tires roughly. But yeah, this thing is running fantastic. Having a hard time keeping the tire on it, obviously. We have just crappy old Linglongs on there still. As you can see, those Linglongs do not like to hook up at all. That's with the trans brake leaving in second gear. Those things just get blown off right away. But that's to be expected with junk Chinese tires. They did smoke perfectly for our gender reveal. That's right, my wife and I are expecting a little ripper come April. We are super excited about that. I'll have Andrew go ahead and put a clip into that. Yeah, so we are super excited for the year to come. I just want to take this opportunity to personally thank everyone that subscribed to BAMO, liked and watched all of our videos. It really means a lot to us. I hope everyone has a wonderful year coming up. Man, yeah, we'll hand this thing back to Ahoff.
So there you have it. There's our year-end review. But one quick thing before we go. I want to put a huge shout out there to Steven over at Sin Sport. He's the one that helped to make our intro video. I've had that in the description since then. But a new thing I'm adding to the description is Sin Sport is launching their very own merch website. Well, they have launched their own merch website. They got some cool stuff over there. Go check it out. I know Steven has plans on adding more and more to that as the year goes on. So just continually check that, see what all new stuff they add. So please do us a favor and go help support one of our friends. The link to that will be in the description down below, along with links to pretty much everything else, you know, the 10 Mil podcast and all the good stuff. So I hope you guys had a good 2023. Hopefully 2024 is even better or gets better, whichever way you need it to be. But until next time, keep off those jack stands and stay broke, folks.